Welcome to Ireland, a photographer's sweet shop, more specifically to Donegal, a place where in April I captured one of my favourite shots of 2024 so far at Fanad Head, Ireland's most northerly point. Well, that's nice. Well, that is nice. And there it was, my soft, balanced shot. Thank you, Fanad Head, just thank you. I had a blast in this fantastic county, but until now I haven't looked at a lot of my footage. I just felt that I'd really let myself and this place down photographically. So now I'm exercising my demons. So welcome to Donegal again.
This is ridiculously good.
Welcome to Fanad Head Lighthouse on an extremely windy day. This working lighthouse looks fantastic with a dramatic, colourful sunrise, but we were going to get none of that during my time here.
Well, we've actually got some great movement, which is suggesting I might actually want to get my tripod out now. But it's where to stand, because we've got some really nice foreground rocks sort of here. I am liking that movement in that water. It's just whether or not these rocks where I am now are too dominant, and I suspect they will be. So this is the third location option that I've got. What I'm liking about this is the turbulence in the foreground. So let me just show you, if I swing around here, we've got some magnificent rocks. This is why I think I might need a wider lens. It's got to be fast. There is no, in this wind, slowing this down much. Maybe 0.4 of a second if I'm lucky. Nothing more than that. Look at this, whoosh. But then again, there's also from here. Oh, decisions. Well, despite this being a recce, there's some terrific movement in that water. So I'm just going to go back and get the camera and think, well, blow it, let's crack on. Tomorrow there is a huge drop off in the wind, so I won't have the chance to catch it again. And the sunrise afterwards is going to be very, very wet. So it's now or never, I think, for that movement. I'm just going for half a second because it gives that lovely movement. I'm just going to keep doing some whilst I'm talking to you. And one of them will be the killer one. Hair eating. A hobby of mine. Right, where you are seeing that water on the left-hand side coming through, when it comes pounding through there, it actually gives you some beautiful texture at half a second. Boom, just like that. And you wait 1, 2, 3, and sometimes you get kind of waves crushing back from the rocks the other side. It just meets in the middle, and you're getting such exciting movement. What you've got to do is wait for there to be no big gaps in those waves, so you get turbulence right the way across in the foreground. Oh, this is cracking. So I'm on half a second ISO 125 f11, kind of focused hyperfocally. I hope. I'm going to check this.
So I spent a happy half hour clinging onto things, making sure nothing went over the cliff, including me, just taking long and short exposures. Well, that's not an attractive angle.
I think I'm done.
And here are some of the results.
Oh, that was just exciting. My eyes have been watering, my nose has been running, it's just been such strong winds. I really think I might have one or two that are just gorgeous in the foreground. Hopefully. Brilliant. We're here to visit the Great Pollet Sea Arch, which is Ireland's largest sea arch at 45 metres. There is absolutely nobody else here.
This is one of the main reasons I wanted to visit Donegal.
It's always fateful when I tell you what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and get to the bottom of the cliff. I'm going to try and get my feet in the water, possibly a long exposure, because there's absolutely no movement today, as you can probably tell, as opposed to yesterday when we got those magnificent waves in front of Fanad Lighthouse, which, by the way, is only a few kilometres further up the coast. This is the access path to the sea stacks, about 500 metres away from the car park.
Well, access to this place is a darn sight easier than I thought it was going to be. No cliffs. Boom. Now it's an incoming tide.
Crikey.
Not the safest, but now to sort of foreground.
That's quite messy.
Yep, it is.
This seems to be the best option at the moment. I've got a little bit of interest when I get a random wave. Not vast amounts. So long exposures seem to be suiting it a little bit more because I'm just not getting much in terms of drama. Now luckily we haven't got too much wave movement. If I were here yesterday I wouldn't be able to get anywhere near where I'm standing now. But I've probably got 10 minutes only to grab something before I do need to move for sensible reasons. And plus my exit point's not secure much longer than that. Now I confess I've been a bit nervous at certain times when the waves have rolled in both sides of the arch, but there appear to be breakers, so therefore it's not really sploshed me as I was anticipating.
Now that 10-minute window was intense, but by heck I had a great time. Yes, of course I kept my eye on the tide, but by goodness, what a cracking location. Empowered by a blinding session at Great Pollet Sea Stack the day before, I decided to meander to the west coast of Donegal and some interesting roads to say the least to find Crohy Head Sea Arch.
Well, after an eventful journey involving lots of reversing, we eventually arrive at the Crohy Arch Sea Stacks. Unfortunately, a few of the roads were closed, so we ended up going on sort of slightly wider farm tracks. Glad I wasn't driving. I think the ideal time to be here is low tide, so you can get right down to be photographing amongst the stacks. However, I've timed that poorly today, so this is more of a recce to work out whether or not it's worth coming back to at a more favourable time. This is your first view, so it's quite a nice one to get. I know it's a uniformly grey day, but that doesn't matter. In theory, I'd like to be able to look through the arch from down the bottom, but the tide's too high to do that right now. So I can do some from up here. I can do some from the path going down, but I can't get on that beach at this time of tide. Thus far, the path has been really good. And it gets a little bit problematic at that lower bit where I'm pointing out on the left-hand side at the bottom. So what we're going to do is stick the drone up and really carefully see if there's anything we can get, almost as if we were down there, and then I should go a little bit higher up and take some other shots.
I've realised that this location is the reason I didn't want to put this video out. I feel like I've let it down. Done it no justice at all. Not at all. And I was completely oblivious. Ah well. So on to our last day before we had to leg it back to the UK because Storm Kathleen rolled in. Big time. We shall name this the never-ending waterfall, for it is so in my head. After this lovely diversion, we are onto one of the greatest roads I've driven on. Well, when I say I, we. And when I say we, I mean not me. But you get my drift. Isn't it cracking? Traffic was clearly terrible. Come on, sheepface, move your butt. There you go. Oh, more sheep. You wouldn't believe how many pictures of sheep I've got from this trip.
Welcome to the impressive stacks of Ann Port. It's 20 kilometres down a windy road to get here, but by God, it's something special when you finally do.
Well, we had stormy skies, lots of wind and a few rainstorms. At this stage we had absolutely no idea what was heading our way. And because of the wind, any shot I tried was going to be soft. Yeah, this was.
When I first decided I was going to come to Donegal, I confess I envisaged somewhere quite different. What I've got is somewhere rugged, somewhere really quite exciting. Okay, the coastal bits are exactly as I'd done my research. However, inland, the hinterland, well, that's evocative of other places. At parts I see Harris, other parts I see Devon. Maybe I should just see Donegal. How lovely.
So with that, we were summoned to drive across Ireland to Dublin to make our way home while we still could. Oh, thank you for joining me. It's been a blast. See you next time.